Hey guys, happy Monday. I hope you had a great weekend. Today we're going to continue on with some angles and classifying different angles, and then throughout the week we're going to relate them to equations. This will be our last week with angles, and then next week we're going to do some stuff with triangles and circles, and you're done with new information with videos. So please make sure that you finish this week out strong, that you're still continuing to try and learn. You're reaching out to me and your other teachers because it's important that you don't get further behind. Make sure that you're at least attempting, okay? So jumping in, our I can statement for today is I can classify complementary and supplementary angles. Now, before we can classify, and classify means label, before we can do that, we need to make sure we know what complementary and supplementary angles are. So the way that I describe complementary and supplementary is with a little trick, and it might not work for you, but it's really easy to compliment someone if I say, oh, I like your shirt, oh, I like your shoes. That's easy, okay? Supplementary. Well, supplementary, the root is supplement. That word's in there. And if your parents are not working right now or they're on unemployment, they're having to supplement their income. It takes hard work to supplement something. So complements are easy, supplements are harder. It's bigger, more effort. What I'm getting ready to tell you with that information might help you. Others, it's just going to confuse you even more. But complementary angles, remember complements are easier, smaller, not as hard to do, are any two angles in which the sum of the measure of their measures is 90 degrees. And remember, sum means that you're adding. So if you add together the two angles, they'll equal 90 degrees. Those are complementary angles. So we would say here that angle 1, remember angle symbol looks like this, so angle 1 plus angle 2 equals 90 degrees. Okay, angle 1, angle 2. Okay, now supplementary. These are any two angles in which the sum of their measures is, what do you think? 180 degrees. So we would say angle 3 plus angle 4 equals 180 degrees. Now remember I told you complements are easier, smaller to make. Supplementing takes a lot of effort, bigger. Complements 90, supplements 180. That's the way I remember it. Okay, if that doesn't work for you, just memorize. So now that we know what complementary and supplementary angles are, we can classify, or we can look at a bunch of angles and say whether they make a 90-degree right angle together or make a 180-degree straight angle together. So if you've not figured out, I try to make our examples that we cover in class or in lessons. I wish we were in class, but in lessons really similar to what you do on your own. So if you're struggling on assessments, you need to come back and rewatch this video instead of clicking show answer. Just come back to the video, rewatch, and I'm sure you'll see how similar they are. So this first example, it says using the diagram, name two pairs of complementary angles and two pairs of supplementary. So complementary, remember, means 90 degrees. I'm going to go ahead and write that down. So I'm looking for a pair of angles. If I put them together, they make a right angle. So an example would be, I know that this right here is a right angle, right? Right. And to get that right angle, I can take angle 3 and I can take angle 4. If I put them together, they get me a right angle. So that would be a complementary pair. So angle 3 and angle 4. But we want two pairs. So the next one, well, I could look right here. Well, angle 8 plus angle 7 together make that right angle. So another pair would be angle 8 and angle 7. Some of you are like, but Miss Brown, why'd you pick those? There's more. Yes, there is more. You could do 1 and 2. You could do 5 and 6. Those work, okay? So don't think that those are the only two pairs. Supplementary. So with complementary, you were looking for that 90 degrees corner of a box. Supplementary is 180 degrees. So you need to look at and find a straight line. I'm getting Emmy's crayons. I don't have my highlighters. But if I look right here, this is a straight line, right? Well, on that straight line, if I put angle 11 and angle 10 together, all the way together, they would make this straight line. So that's a pair of supplementary angles. While I'm writing that down, you look and see if you can think you figure out another pair of supplementary. So I could just look on the other side. Angle 9 and angle 12 would be supplementary as well. Then now, again, I don't want you thinking at home, Miss Brown, Miss Brown, Miss Brown, why not this? Why not that? You can email me those questions. But 10 and 9 are supplementary, 11 and 12 are supplementary as well. Okay? Again, if you have questions, email me. So, going on to the next section. Number 2, given the diagram, classify each angle pair as complementary, supplementary, or neither. So you had questions like this last week on assessments with adjacent and vertical angles, but now we're doing complementary, supplementary, or neither. So A says angle 1 and angle 6. So I'm going to highlight them. 1 right there. So angle 1, I'm sorry, and angle 6. Well, if I put them together, if I put them together, 1 all the way to 6, that's going to make a straight line. Well, which angle pair means straight line? Supplementary. So those two are supplementary. Okay, B, angle 1 and angle 2. So I'm looking at angle 1 and angle 2. So when I put those two together, I go from 1 all the way to 2, like this. 1 to 2. That makes a right angle. Well, what type of angles, when you put them together, make 90 degrees? Complementary. So those pairs, that pair is complementary. Next one is 4 and 5. So I've got angle 4, and I've got angle 5. Well, if I put those together, your eyes might try to do a trick on you. 4 and 5. Unless it tells me it's a right angle, it's not, unless I can prove it. So that's not a right angle, doesn't make 180 degrees or 90 degrees, so it's neither. D's tricky. So it wants 3 and 4, so it's going from here to here. Now remember, I just told you right here, unless we have the marker for 90 degrees or we can prove it, we cannot assume 90 degrees. I'm going to tell you why 3 and 4 make a 90-degree angle, even though they don't show us it. We can prove it. So here we have a straight line, right? Straight line. Straight lines are 180 degrees, correct? Yes. Well, we have this little box showing that this is 90. Well, if this side's 90, what does this side have to be to make 180? 90. So since these two angles make up 90 degrees, they are complementary as well. Okay, moving on from there. Our next section says classify each pair of angles as complementary, supplementary, or neither. So you need to double check the angle measures and make sure they add up like 100%. Don't just assume because they look like they would come together. Actually add them up. So 3, if I do 59 plus 31, you get 90. So since together they make 90 degrees, they would be complementary. the next one. If I do 72 plus 108, I get 180. What type of angles make 180 degrees? Supplementary. Okay. Over here, 38 plus 62. Well, 38 plus 62 is 100. 100 degrees. Well, that's not 90 or 180. So that makes it a neither. Those pairs are not supplementary or complementary. Remember, this marker means 90. This means 90. And 90 plus 90 is 180. So those are supplementary. Number 7, 106 plus 78. I already know by thinking about those numbers, they're not going to equal 180. So it's neither. 43 plus 47. Well, 43 plus 47 is 90. 90 degrees means complementary. So that's the last bit of notes that I have for today. I'm going to go ahead and put up your homework assignment, your independent practice, and show it to you before I go ahead and end the video. Let's make sure it... Come on, focus. Ta-da! So this is going to be your homework assignment on assessments. If you're at home with no internet, you can pause this and write it on a piece of paper and take a picture. I want to shout out to Chris. You're doing an awesome job at that. Amazing. So do like Chris. You write your work on a piece of paper, take a picture, save it to the zip drive. Okay? If you're at home with internet, you're going to go to assessments and do this. If you catch me on Monday morning and I've messed something up, email me. Logan Green, Thomas Tant, who are some other ones that have caught me in mess ups? Keyston, there's quite a few of you. I always mess up. Monday mornings where I find my mistakes, or you guys find them. But if something's wrong, email me and I'll fix it. Okay? Make sure you're emailing me and not using the comment button in assessments. I don't get notifications. For your homework, you're going to do all of these. Okay? So, I'm going to go ahead. You guys go do that. And I'm going to video your next lesson. Have a good night.